Many of you know we're heading out on another 10-day trip or so, but the first stop, a little detour, so we can ship this to Mr. Sean Martin, who won Mr. Haynes's walking stick last night in our raffle. It should get there soon, Sean, and we'll get on the road in just a minute. Well, that's on the way to you, Sean. Thanks for winning it. I'm gonna take my mask off and get back in the van, and next stop will be in Virginia. How many times have we ridden by here than you wanted to stop?
I don't know. Every time we
take exit 175, then turn right onto US 11 North.
Every time that we've come this way, I've always seen the Natural Bridge sign, and I've always wanted to stop here, so I'm glad we're finally getting to go.
Turn right onto US 11 North, then turn left to stay on US 11 North.
Are you excited?
I'm excited, and I'm happy to be finished driving this day. So, a lot of big trucks on Interstate 81 and that portion of 77.
Yeah.
It's definitely a white knuckle kind of drive with the wind blowing like this. We made it though. So if you come here, wear your mask. There's a lot of people, and don't go inside. You don't need to go inside to go to the bridge. If you want to buy merchandise, you do. You can pay for the bridge when you get to the bridge. You see something like this, it sure takes your breath away. It's 55 feet higher than the Niagara Falls. Awesome. I've got to go see if I can catch up with Lynn. Mask back on. Safety first. So this is really cool. This is what's known as a palisade, and it's a defensive barrier that they would make as high as 7 feet high. It's something the Native Americans that lived here before actually created. Bending the wood like this is pretty cool. So we're at Lace Falls on the Cedar Creek Trail. Really cool little trail to walk up, wasn't it?
It was. It goes right by the natural bridge, which is something I've always wanted to do.
Check that one off your bucket
Yeah,
list.
it was a little expensive.
$16 for both of us to get in and walk this trail.
So I'm not used to having to pay to go hiking. That was a little strange.
We're getting old if we say that for sure.
But
I don't know,
still.
most of you will think the same thing, I believe. It is beautiful and it's well maintained. There's this stone wall all the way down, which for us is a good thing, but Maggie keeps looking up at us like, I can't see anything, I can't see anything.
I know,
So
not
she
very
climbed up on the wall when we got here and walked around and tried to get a better view.
Every now and then she gets to get off and get in the water. But anyway, it is beautiful. It's a beautiful day here in Virginia, and we're enjoying our first day of our trip so far.
We are. We have just a little ways to go to get to our campground, and we'll get settled in and then check in with you there. Like that, we're set up. Believe it or not, we're at a KOA tonight. We'll show you around. It's really nice. We love our site. Really level gravel site, table, fire pit. We're right beside of the woods, so it's very, very private. And then we have the trailer back here. It was a little buggy, so we set up the room. Doing your happy dance?
No, I'm not doing my happy dance.
You were? So, what's for dinner tonight?
Tortellini.
Dinner tonight? And now we need to, well, you know what we do. We take Maggie for a walk. We'll walk around and we'll show you a little bit about the campground as we're walking. So these back end sites here, it's not a lot of privacy, but the one we have, quite a bit of privacy. And it's $38 a night with tax. That sounds like a lot, but the Virginia state parks, if you are not a resident, it's $45 a night for those. So it's cheaper than a Virginia state park. And so that's why we stayed here. Plus it's only 3 miles from the natural bridge. A lot of them even have concrete pads and right up against the fence. It's a really cool little KOA. Okay, so those are words I never thought I would say out loud again. That's a pretty cool KOA. We typically like to stay in state parks, but just for a night tonight. Other reason we stayed here is there's a good cell phone signal here, and I need to upload the video so it'll be ready for this weekend, because when we get to the national park tomorrow, there won't be any cell phone signal for several days. So griddle me this, guys. Have you ever slow cooked a pork tenderloin? Did you know you can do it on the Blackstone Griddle? You sure can. Look at what we're doing today. We have the Blackstone set up on medium-low heat on both burners. We have it the lid closed, and then we have our little dome here. Under the dome, we have pork tenderloin. Right under that, we have wet apple wood. We're just keeping that moist, and it's creating a bunch of smoke. This is pretty simple. Every few minutes, about every 10 minutes or so, I'm just putting water on the apple wood, just so it'll continue to smoke. And then in a few minutes, I'll replace it with some more wood. Nothing but awesomeness, I gotta tell you. Wait till you see this. This is going to be fantastic. So about 20 minutes into this cook, most of the wood is burned off. So it's time to flip the tenderloin and to add a little more wood underneath the rack. You don't want to just take the wood out and just put it on the griddle, even though it's a flat surface. It'll still burn. But if you soak it for just a little while in water, take it out, see what happens. It's almost magical. It's moist, it won't catch on fire, but it's going to smoke. You won't believe how this is going to taste. So we flip the tenderloin over so the other side can be close to the heat and the smoke, and we'll let it go another 10 minutes, and then we're going to check the temperature. Put the dome back on. Oh yeah. You see that? A Blackstone Griddle turned into a smoker. You know what? This is gonna be delicious. It's a little bit not quite like the vegetarian meal we made before, but if you're a non-vegetarian, hard to beat pork tenderloin. We checked the temperature. It's at 130 on the thickest side, and it's at 140 over here. So I've now flipped it around, put a little bit more water on the wood that's there, and I'm going to slide it over and put just a little more wood underneath it. Back under the dome she goes, and we'll let it go for another 10 minutes, and then we'll check on it again. What a simple cook, and it's going to be delicious. It's time to take it off. We'll put it on a cutting board, let it rest underneath some aluminum foil for about 5 more minutes. We'll slice it and show you what it looks like. This is looking good. It has rested for about 10 minutes now. If you look at this piece of meat, you'll see that the grain is going this way. A little trick to make sure that every bite kind of feels the same and tastes the same is we don't want to cut that way. We want to cut against the grain, so we're going to flip it around. I'm going to cut one little piece off the top here. And the way this is going to work is this is thicker down here, so this is going to be a little more done on this side and a little less done on this side. Starting to get into some really good color now. Oh, ready to try a bite of this. Just look at that. Last week we had sweet potatoes in a burrito. This week we're going to take sweet potatoes out of the oven and eat them the way you're supposed to, which is a pork tenderloin that is perfectly cooked in about 40 minutes on the Blackstone Griddle. Griddle me this, can you cook this in a slow cooker? You darn betcha, but it's easier on the Blackstone with a couple pieces of apple wood stuck underneath. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait. Happy dance time, happy dance time, happy dance time. Let's eat, let's eat, let's eat. Wait a minute, I gotta get one more bite. That is so moist and so tender, and you can taste the apple wood that has been smoked into this. You can see the ring of apple wood smoke around it. How do you do that on a Blackstone? Look at that, look how perfect that is. I'm telling you guys, if you don't have a Blackstone, there's a link to our Amazon store down below, and you can go buy one there, and Amazon will send it to your doorstep, and we'll get a few dollars if you do that. Or right now, we noticed when we were in Walmart, they're trying their best to make room for Christmas ornaments. So almost every Blackstone they have is on sale. Go get you one if you don't have one, and join us next week when we cook another recipe around the Blackstone Griddle. Always remember, eat hearty, eat healthy, but do your happy dance. Do your happy dance, and send us a video of you doing that or a picture over on our Facebook page. See you next week. Well, that was a wonderful day.
It has been a great day.
It was a travel day, meaning we probably drove 3.5 hours today to get where we are. But we also got to take in the natural bridge, and something you've been trying to do or wanting to do for a long time.
Yeah.
That'll bring us to the Q&A section of this video. And if you know, last time we skipped the Q&A so we could do the live stream. And we really appreciate so many of you tuning in on Tuesday night to the live stream. That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I think even you had fun, and
Yeah,
you were
I did.
worried about it.
I
It was
did.
fun. But now we'll try to answer just a few of the questions that you guys have asked us in the past. Try to get to that now. The first one comes from Jacqueline, Z-A-J-A-C. I won't even try to pronounce that last one. What computer and camera system setup do you guys use? The more detail, the better. Well, you want to answer that one?
No, I don't want to answer that one.
For the longest time, our cameras were just iPhone 11 Pros. And in fact, now a lot of the B-roll, or the things where we're not talking over it, those are, a lot of that shot on the iPhone 11 Pro. But recently, we added another camera to our bag. It's a Sony ZV-1, which is made for vloggers. And we can tell a difference in how it records and the quality of the video. And there's this thing called bokeh, or bokeh, whatever you call it. It's the blurry background. And we love being able to get that. In fact, wait a minute, I need to turn that on right now.
The only thing that's back here is our shade.
See?
Anyway, it'll blur out our shade.
It would blur out our shades. But we're loving that because audio is really good. The picture quality is really, really good. And
the sound's really good.
It is.
Yeah.
And so that's what we use. To edit, we actually use an iPad Pro. It's a 12.9. It's not the latest, it's the one right before the latest. And it's worked great for us, especially since we're in this little van, taking a lot of things that you have to pack somewhere and then charge and everything else. And I use an app called LumaFusion to do the edits. And it works kind of like Final Cut Pro for the iPad. There are rumors that Final Cut is actually going to come to the iPad pretty soon, and I'm really hoping they do, because that would make my day if I could do that kind of stuff on the iPad. But I give up a lot of functionality just for the convenience. So I hope that answers your question. I won't go into any more detail, but if you have a specific question, leave it and we'll try to answer.
So Sally Schromblock asked if we like seafood. And
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we do. We love seafood. And how about grilling some scallops or rockfish? And love your griddle me this.
We do love the griddle me this. I tell you what, we've grilled tuna a couple of times trying to make it into the griddle me this segment. And every time we've done it, it's been really late at night and it's been so dark that the footage just didn't turn out and we've thrown it away. You don't know this, but those griddle me this segments, we usually throw away about 1 out of every 3 or 4 because either the footage doesn't turn out to be what we want, or the meal just sucks and we don't like it. So.
And we're not going to show something that we don't like and that we wouldn't want you to eat too. But I think we have done shrimp.
We have done shrimp.
Yep.
We've done shrimp scampi pasta, and we've done shrimp and steak. But I don't know if we showed that on the channel. But the good thing is, on this trip that we're on now, we have tuna with us. So we're going to griddle out some tuna pretty soon. It won't be in this week's episode. It might make it in next week's, but we'll show you, Sally, when we do get around to doing that. It's a great suggestion. Thanks for being with us, Sally. We really appreciate you guys a lot. So the last question we'll answer tonight is from Vladimir Boreskis. I butchered that, didn't I, Vladimir? I'm sorry. Vladimir B. Here, I'll call you that. Thanks again for the very nice video. My question is, where and how do you wash and polish the Travato? Thank you. Well, I could say if we get around to washing the van, I'll tell you how we do it, but that's not really the case. We've used a lot of different ways.
We have.
We've gone in Florida, we've gone through a lot of the car washes that are big enough for the big boats to get in, and we've used the water to get sand and junk and salt water and crap off of it. And I can remember going into one of those, and at the time we had magnets on the very back of the van, and those things blew those magnets everywhere, and we were out chasing them all over the place.
One time when we were in the Everglades, we washed it with the waterless,
the no rinse
stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And there's a video on our channel that you can search for and find that shows us doing that. And all that is a product that you put it on, and it's formulated so that it takes, when you dip the rag back down in the water, it takes all the dirt out of the rag, and it actually works really well.
It looks really good.
And it looks really good, and you can use a half a gallon of water and wash this entire van, and you wouldn't believe that.
Yeah. In Alaska, we just washed it at.
Yeah, there were a lot of places in Alaska that when we got off of the top of the world highway In Tok, we stopped where everyone stops, which is that outdoor lake that's got so much water built up everywhere, and we sprayed it off. And then there were several in Alaska that, because it's so cold in the winter, a lot of their car washes are inside. So you drive in and the garage door comes down, and those are really, really nice, and they're big enough to fit the van in with the Thule on top, and that works well. When we're home, we wash it probably the way you wash anything you own. We get the garden hose out, we wash it with a solution that is, I call it a pink solution, but it's RV wash and wax all built in together. And when you put it in the water, you can see it going everywhere, but it really shines up the RV really nicely. It doesn't leave any water spots. And I can do the van in, I don't know, if I'm hurrying, 45 minutes or so. If I take my time, it takes maybe an hour to do the van and all the tires and wheels. The bad thing is we like to be on dirt roads and out in the middle of nowhere, and the van gets dirty a lot.
Yeah, it does. So it is hard to keep it clean.
So it's a wrestling match, you know. Do you wash it right before you leave for a trip and then you pull into a dirt road like we did here, or do you wash it when you get back and then it gets dirty sitting in the driveway? We don't really know the answer to that. But that ends this week's Q&A. If you have a question you'd like for us to answer in the future, just leave it in the comments down below, and Lynn and I will get to it as soon as we can. And again, we really appreciate you thinking about us and wanting to know our opinions about how we make this little van work when we're traveling around. So until next Sunday, I can't wait to see where we go next.
I know. You never know. It's hard for us to make reservations, and because we always change our mind along the way.
It does make it hard to get reservations when you try to get them, but it does make it kind of an adventure to know where you're going to end up.
Right.
No matter where that is, it'll be in next week's video, and you'll learn it about the same time we do. Until then, sweet dreams, happy tales.
Good night.
Well, it's been a wonderful day.
It has.
Brings us
Wait
to
a
the...
minute. Got some weird little stuff going on.
Should I put my hat back on?
No. Okay. Wait a minute. Turn in here. Okay.
Wonder if that'll be in the bloopers. To keep predators and other people out. It's an Indian erection here. Did I say the word erection? It's an Indian. It's something the Native Americans that lived here before actually created.